Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Racing PodBlast with me, Tony Mack, and Ben Aitken from Narrowing the Field. And we're track hopping this weekend, taking in 3 handicaps from 2 of the Saturday cards, 2 handicaps from Ascot, as well as the Grand National Trial from Haydock. We'll cover the Haydock race in a bit, though, as we are heading to Ascot first with the Class 2 Betfair Exchange Handicap Hurdle due off for 2:25 on Saturday. First race under analysis for us. And Ben, welcome along, Ben. Welcome back, and you can start us off with that one.
Morning, Tony. Yep, the Betfair Exchange Handicap Hurdle 2:25 Ascot. It generally pays to be either setting the pace or sitting just off the pace over this trip at Ascot, especially on ground with cutting it and in this sort of size of field. It can be tricky at times to make up ground from midfield or from out the back, so it's worth keeping an eye on the pace makeup of this race. A race I thought that looked pretty competitive. I narrowed it down to the following: Range, Lightening Up Our Days, Captain Teague, and Camaxos. Range was a winner at Sandown last time out. The form of that race being boosted by the second horse, Henri II, bolting up by 9 lengths in the Class 1 Heroes Handicap at Sandown on his next start. Range is only £2 higher for that win over Henri II, and that looks potentially very lenient given what Henri II did on its next start. Range still has an unexposed profile on handicap hurdles. This is only his 4th start in such a race. He does get his prime conditions to shoot for here. Trips of 2 mile 3 to 2 mile 4 on tracks with undulations and off a break of 42 days or less, where he is 3 wins from 5 starts, which are all 3 of his career wins. He'll likely sit just off the leaders, which, as mentioned, tends to be a positive over his trip at Ascot. And Range is high on my list here. Lightening Up Our Days is the least exposed runner in the field after only 8 previous starts, only 5 over hurdles, and he comes here off the back of a decent third at Hereford in December. That was his first run for 339 days, and he was leading 2 out that day before his lengthy break just started to tell on him, and he faded into third at the line. He was only beaten 3 lengths, though, and the 2 that finished ahead of him both won next time out. The winner came from nowhere, landed a Class 2 over this Ascot course in distance by 3 lengths off a £7 higher mark, so it does look strong form. And they've given Lightening Up Our Days a decent break to recover from that effort. And he's an interesting one in this. He should sit just off the pace. Again, that's a positive running style for his trip at Ascot. Captain Teague for Paul Nicholls, he comes in off the back of a pulled up last time at effort, but easy enough to forgive that run, I'd say. It was his first run for 415 days, and it was over an extended 3-mile trip. I'd say the limited evidence we have for the horse to date suggests those staying trips might not be what he wants. It should be much sharper for that outing. He should appreciate the step back down in trip. It's also worth noting the record of Paul Nicholls since 2018 in Ascot handicap hurdles at Class 2 level or less and on good to softer ground. He is 10 wins and 6th placed from 36 runners, 28% win strike rate, 44% win and play strike rate, over 141 points profit. Added to that, Paul Nicholls has previously won this race with a horse that was pulled up last time out over a staying trip, and that was coming off a break of over 400 days when he won the 2019 renewal with Brio Conte. So to be, he's had this race in mind for Captain Teague for a while, and that last run was just a run to blow the cobwebs away. And it wouldn't be a surprise at all to see him bounce back from his pulled up last time out effort with a big run here at Ascot. And Camaxos was the other that caught my eye. He went close last time out. You talked about over fences, but I think he'll appreciate going back right-handed here, going back over hurdles, and with conditions that will be bang in his favour. A right-handed track over shorter than 2 mile 5, good to softer ground, and a mark of 1-2-1 or less, where he is 3 wins and a second from 4 starts. That's all 3 of his career wins. He's probably more an interesting one for the places than a likely winner, although not out of the question, given the conditions he's racing under. But he could outrun his lofty odds. Kamaxos, a relatively open-looking race, and I'm going to side with the two from my shortlist that are the least exposed and look to still have plenty upside to them. And that would be Lightning Up Our Days at around 15 to 2, 8 to 1 sort of price, and Captain Teague at around the 11 to 2, 6 to 1 sort of price. So Lightning Up Our Days and Captain Teague for me. Tony, what you got for this handicap hurdle?
Yeah, I like Captain Teague, mate, and also Nichols's record in this. I mean, he's had outstanding record in this. I think he last won it with Irish Hill in 2023, and Samurai finished third of the 12 runners in that year as well. And then you went back, you mentioned the 2019 win of Bria Conti, and you can go back to Beshabar with Ruby Walsh riding with finishing first of 16 that day. He's also had a fourth of 10 in Malaya, second of 15 Malaya a year later. So he does aim horses at this, does Paul Nicholls, and Captain T very much to be on side there. It's likely run at a proper tempo with a couple pressing on here, and Ascot's long home straight means you want a hurdler who can travel, jump at pace and still jump in rhythm and still find late. There's two each ways here for me. Active Authority, consistent handicapper who keeps running to a similar level. He's without quite getting his head in front, but he should cope with the track and the trip, and usually gives a sound account. He's not brash in any way, but he's pretty solid, and he's usually held up for a late run. He needs the pace to collapse a touch to show his best, but he can hit the frame at around 8 to 1. And Duracon as well, he's hinted at ability but has not yet put a complete performance together in competitive handicaps. He should appreciate a strongly run race and the long straight as well, and he must jump accurately and settle as well. Duracon, he's each way, so Active Authority each way at 8 and Duracon at 10 to 1 for me, and I wouldn't put anybody off backing Captain Teague there as well. And also also on my shortlist is Listen to Your Heart, who arrives in good nick and looks like the mare's still improving in this sort of handicap. So a couple there for you to look at. Listen to Your Heart, but I'll be siding with Duracon and Active Authority each way in the 225 at Ascot. 35 minutes later, we've got the Swinley Handicap chase, a Premier Handicap over 3 miles, Ben.
Yeah, another competitive looking handicap, another distance at Ascot where it can pay to be up on the pace or just off the pace. Maybe not quite as much as the hurdle race was covered, but certainly no bad thing to be up near the front end here. The following 4 runners caught my eye: Gipco, Montregar, Hunter Legend, and Jericho Rock.
Full house. Oh, nearly full house.
Nice, good work. Gipco was a wide margin winner last time out at Leicester. He won by 10 lengths, and he fired in a big career best in the process. Got the run of the race out front that day, but he could get that again here because he does look the most likely one to want to take the lead. None of the others I'd be hugely confident about also being up in the pace early doors. So a definite plus for Gipco there. He's still unexposed as a chaser after only 5 chase starts, and he does look to have his prime conditions here. Handicaps with 12 or less runners in the December to March period, where he has 3 wins in 2 places from 5 starts, which are all 3 of his career wins in the UK. So plenty likely to be in Gipco's favour here. Montregar has already run twice at Ascot this season, winning over an extended 3 miles on seasonal debut back in November, then finishing a decent second over the 3 mile trip last time out. Disappointed in between those runs at Kempton when he was fancied, but I suspect the flat, tight track didn't suit him there. His best form has come on galloping tracks like Ascot, so easy enough to forgive him the Kempton effort. And he's young enough and lightly raced enough to still think he still has improvement to come from his mark. He's taken a leap in class here, and his midfield running style may hinder him a little, but his track form does catch my eye. So Montregar makes my short list. Hunter Legend runs here for Phoenicia Williams. who does like to target this race. She's won it 3 times since 2017. All 3 of our winners were French breds aged 7 to 10 and were carrying 11 stone 7 or less. With those types, Phoenicia Williams is 3 winners from 4 qualifiers in the race. Hunter Legend meets that profile here, so just the type she likes to win this race with. It wasn't beaten far in the Paddy Power Gold Cup at Cheltenham in November off a £1 higher mark. A race where he was ridden cold out the back and he was never really seriously put into the race. Very much looked like a spin just to get the wheels moving again. He gets his prime conditions to shoot for here. Softer heavy ground, trips of further than 2 mile 1, but shorter than 3 mile 1, and not seasonal debut, where Hunter Legend is 5 wins in 3 places from 10 starts. And despite the Phoenicia Williams yard going through a fair old barren spell, there has been signs of life this month, and her runners are finally starting to finish with more behind them than in front of them come the line. And Hunter Legend is catching my eye at decent odds. And Jericho Rock is the other that made my shortlist. He's extremely well handicapped on his old form. He's running here from £10 below the mark. He finished second off in an Ultima Chase, and £11 below the mark. He ran third off in a Coral Gold Cup. He goes well under the conditions he'll meet on Saturday. Fields of 8 or more and a break of 77 days or less, where Jericho Rock is 2 wins in 5 places from 8 starts. And if he is ever going to rediscover his old form, it will likely be under these conditions. So another tough contest to pick apart, but I'm going to side with the pace-pushing Zipko at around 11 to 2 and Hunter Legend at around 12 to 1, 14 to 1 to hopefully kick Phoenicia Williams' season back into gear. So Zipko and Hunter Legend for me. Tony, what you got for this Swinley handicap chase?
The one I haven't got on your list, Ben, is Joyeux Machin. Capable on his day, but has not been finishing his races well enough recently, and comes with a fall on the card as well, and a fall on his card. He needs to settle, jump cleanly in a bit, and find a bit more under pressure when he comes under pressure. But Dan Skelton can spark one into life, and he's something to prove in a Premier Handicap. But Joyeux Machin there, and I had them with a Dutch selection with Montregard as well, course winner who's been in and out, but as you said, Ben, his latest second suggests he may be coming to the boil again. He can travel strongly and has the pace to hold a position, though he has thrown in the odd poor run, but if his jumping holds up under pressure, he could be in with a chance here. And again, the two you've mentioned, Hunter Legend, I do like Hunter Legend, consistent type who's been knocking on the door and comes here after a good second 14 days ago, so fitness is assured. The step up to this class is the question, but he's well treated if reproducing his recent level. And Jericho Rock, who was a Grand National hope back in 2021 and 2022 when he was winning at Cheltenham, like you mentioned, winning the international hurdle at Cheltenham's January meeting, and then but then it went to pieces a little bit after that. He kind of went, hang on, I'm on the wrong horse here. Sorry, here we are. He finished second of 24 in the Ultima. Well, we won't edit that, mate. We won't edit that. Yeah. And he ran it in 3 in November, the start of the next season, the 2022-2023 season. Then the 2022-2023 season, he finished third of 15, and then he was missing for 783 days till the January 2025, just over a year ago, finishing third of 6 at Windsor, and then he did actually make Cheltenham last year in the I think the National Hunt Challenge Cup. Is that the old plate? Yeah, it is. No, it's the old 4 miler where he was 10th of 18, but beaten miles in that. And then he came back in January at Windsor again, the same meeting at Windsor, and he came back and finished 8th of 10. He comes back here, obviously a couple of years older, at 10-year-old, and he was being prepped for the National, but Yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, he can find some of his old form. He needs to jump with far more purpose and to feature, and maybe best suited by a return to form in a lesser heat first, but I think he can hit the frame here with hopefully a couple of firms paying 4 places. Jericho Rock at 14s, Hunter Legend at 14 to 1 as well, mate. So moving on, 3:15 at Haydock is the Grand National Trial Handicap Chase.
Yeah, I think the head of the market has this one about right. And I got this one down to the following 3. Deafening Silence, Rivers Corner, and Meyertown. Deafening Silence has had a good season so far. He's placed on both his starts so far this season. A second in the rehearsal chase at Newcastle, being followed by a career best third in the Welsh National. The first and third in the rehearsal chase, both won next time out. And Haiti Couleurs backed up his Welsh National win by landing the Denman chase next time out, which was last weekend. So the form of both of Deafening Silence's races this season have been boosted by the horses that finished around him. Also worth noting that the Welsh National has produced the winner of this race 6 times since 2008. Deafening Silence is one of 3 in this that had their last run in the Welsh National. He should handle these conditions well. He's got soft and heavy ground winning form on his CV. And despite being a 9-year-old, he's still unexposed as a handicapper, this being only his 5th run in a handicap. And he does bring plenty positives to the table for this marathon handicap, Deafening Silence. At Rivers Corner, he was a wide margin winner at Wincanton last time out, winning the Somerset National over 3 mile 3 on heavy ground by a whopping 21 lengths. And he'll be buying at home under conditions he faces on Saturday. If you look at Rivers Corner on soft and heavy over 2 mile 7 or further, and in the January to April period, you see he has 4 wins and 2 places from 6 starts, which are all 4 of his career wins. And Meyertown is the other on my shortlist. He's almost certainly still on a mark below the ceiling of his abilities on 142. Had he not made that bad mistake 3 out in the Peter Marsh chase last time out, there's every chance he would have won that day, or at least have gone very close to winning the race. Now, things haven't gone to plan for him in his 2 starts so far this season. Those runs have been off breaks of 49 days and 263 days. Off breaks of 31 days or more, Meyertown is 0 from 6, 1 place. Off breaks of 30 days or less, Meyertown is 4 wins from 5 starts. So clear signs he's a much better horse off shorter breaks. And he's running here off a break of 28 days, which is within his prime break period. If he puts it all together, then he's absolutely one of the main players in this. And I am going to play Meyertown along with Deafening Silence in this Grand National Trial. Both are available at around 72, 4 to 1. And they do lead the 2 to beat for me. So Meyertown and Deafening Silence for me in the Haydock Grand National Trial. Tony, what you got for this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a proper slog, mate, isn't it? And they can go a fair gallop early on as well. But it becomes an attritional staying test from, well, the far side at Haydock with jumping rhythm and stamina deciding it after kind of four out. And you've got Meyertown, Rivers Corner, and top of the bill, Grand Jest, all expected to be in the first 4. I expect them to be in the first 4 on the first and second circuits at least. Deafening Silence, I'm definitely with you here, mate. But I'll leave you to select that one. Comes on the back of a win, arrives with plenty of momentum, Deafening Silence, which matters. But I'll go for 2 each ways, mate. Richmond Lake, who's around 17 to 2, big weight but solid credentials for a Premier Handicap, and has already shown he can handle this track and trip. If the ground is testing, that's a plus, and he looks the type who keeps finding when others have cried enough. And I've got top of the bill here, who's a bigger price at 28 to 1, consistent and tough, and he looks the type who will cope with the hustle and bustle and the pace and any scrimmaging. He often runs his race without doing anything flashy, and then keeps going again when others have cried enough as well on this ground. So Richmond Lake around 17 to 2, top of the bill at 28 to 1. And that's just about it for today. Many thanks for listening to the latest edition of the Racing PodBlast. Very best luck with your bets at Ascot and Haydock this weekend. And we'll see you all again soon in the next episode of the Racing PodBlast. Thanks very much, Ben.
Cheers, Don.